Alright, let's say you got a wedding coming up and you need a good fragrance for that wedding. Now, you may not be the most person that's talked to in that wedding, but you still want to smell good for everyone else, right? And you want to enjoy your time and maybe use a fragrance that later on, when you smell that fragrance, you'll be reminded of how great the wedding was. Now, you don't have to be the actual person getting married to wear these fragrances. You can also just be going to a wedding and using these fragrances. So let's get into the video. What's up guys, I'm Steve Talks, and in today's video we are looking at the 5 fragrances you can use for a wedding, or if you've got a wedding coming up, what 5 fragrances do you want, or which one should you get? I've got 5 options here to help you out, get you right for the wedding, get you smelling good and smelling better than everyone else around you, because it's your lucky day, or you might be looking at someone's lucky day. To start things off, we got Afnan Ornament. This fragrance is a cheapie actually. It's about $30, I think. I got it for around $32. This fragrance, I believe, will really make the atmosphere a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more cheerful, get people around you very refreshed, because it is a very refreshing fragrance. It's got notes of apple, cardamom, saffron, and amber as some of the main notes. Now, I know those notes don't really sound too refreshing, but what is refreshing about it is that the apple really comes through on the top of everything in the very beginning. But then as it dries down, it becomes more of a warm, spicy scent, letting the amber come out more and the saffron, which give it a nice uniqueness. It's not just apple and then that's it the whole way through. It, develops into a nicer scent, and it could actually represent the wedding day, In the very early day, you'll be happy, refreshed, enjoying your time, which is represented by the apple. And then at night, you'll be more chilled out, maybe, inside somewhere, having a nice after wedding party or something. The second fragrance on the list is Tiziana Terenzi Orion. This fragrance, it's got pineapple and birch as some of the main notes. And if you know about fragrance notes, you know those notes, I'm sure. Yeah, you do. They're in Aventus. So yeah, it does smell kind of similar to Aventus, but it doesn't have the darkness from Aventus, if that makes sense. Because Aventus has a more masculine feel to it. This one feels a bit more light. It's almost like a lighter Aventus, citrusy Aventus. There's a bit more pineapple in this one than Aventus. I feel like in Aventus, the birch wood starts coming out a lot more in the opening, whereas this one, it comes out more when it dries down. Orion would be that great scent to use on your wedding day if you're going to one, or if you're the one getting married, because it just smells smooth. It doesn't interfere with too much up in the air, so it will smell more within the atmosphere. It will kind of blend in with other stuff. It's got some refreshingness from the pineapple, and it's got some more deep and darkness from the birch, and it's got some other notes too, but overall it just smells like a lighter Aventus. Now next up we got Jean Paul Gaultier Aviator. Now this fragrance is new on the block. It is one that smells like the CH Men, the original that was discontinued, I think, but bought back in a different style, like in a different package and everything, and it's a bit weaker too. But luckily with this fragrance, it's not that weak. It's actually pretty good. It's long lasting. It's still not that strong, like how the original CH Men was, but at least it's longer lasting than your current CH Men, and it's also, I believe, might be a little cheaper. This fragrance is pretty simple. It's got violet leaf, mint, and some woods as the main notes, and I believe those might be the only notes, at least that's what I saw listed. But this fragrance would be, a very nice fragrance to rock in that wedding. It has that violet leaf component to it, which would be great for a spring wedding if your wedding is in spring. And I think, I mean, it smells very masculine, aromatic. It's not too masculine in terms of like going deep into the woods and all that. It's got a nice bit of wood to balance it out and to balance that violet leaf out, because personally for me, I don't really like a heavy violet leaf. So for me, I do enjoy this one because it doesn't have too strong of a violet leaf. It doesn't have too strong of a violet leaf smell because the wood and the mint kind of balance it out. Alright, the next one should get you very right for that wedding. It is a bit of a price to pay, but it's still a great fragrance even if it's not for a wedding. I mean, you could use this winter, fall, spring, maybe not so much in the summer. But this is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Now this fragrance has got mandarin orange, tonka bean, and mint as some of the main notes. Overall, it's a great fragrance. It's a great transitional fragrance. You know, starts off with some citrus and then goes into more of a tonka bean, musky dry down, which is great for a wedding again. Another fragrance that starts off kind of refreshing, even though this one kind of smells a bit like a dirty orange at first, so it's not very refreshing, but at least it gives you that citrusy component in the beginning, and it's not just a whole like tonka bean fragrance. At least, you know, it starts off with some citruses and then goes down to your wedding night, and it can still really do a great job. And to be honest, for me, I do prefer the dry down, so it just gets better and better the more it stays on your skin. And lastly, we got Valentino Uomo Intense. Now this is a Dior Homme Intense, very similar fragrance to that. However, what I do like about this is that it smells like Dior Homme Intense, but with a balanced touch with it. Now the iris isn't like just punching through like how it is in Dior Homme Intense. Although I do love both, you know, Dior Homme Intense and this one, I would put this one slightly up, and that's why it's in this list versus Dior Homme Intense, as they do smell very similar. And I like the iris. It's a beautiful scent mixed with that vanilla, leather. It gives you that, you know, perfect nighttime type of scent, especially for a wedding. I like that the iris is in there. It kind of brings out that, you know, confidence combo, and it makes you feel good, especially in the right environment like a wedding. I feel like this fragrance would do really, really good things for you. That's been it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later.